Hey guys, I'm Aaron, and today I wanted to tell you how I went about making this little guy. He's my little rocket toy. So, like the other ones I've done, I gave myself a week of time to design, cast, and basically just create this little guy, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. So, like all the other models, I did start with just a quick sketch, just an idea to kind of get what the thing was that I wanted to make out of my head and onto some paper, something I could visualize. Once that was done, it's time to hop into SketchUp. The bulk of this model was actually pretty simple. The body was a cylinder, the top was a cone, pretty easy. The fun part in this really was I don't know what you call them, flames and smoke at the bottom. A bunch of cylinders connected together to kind of make that stream of the jet coming out the bottom. And then the very bottom, the smoke, was a collection of spheres that I joined all together as solids and kind of chopped the bottom off to make it sit flat. I knew I was going to cast in 3 different colors, so I did keep the model with 3 separate pieces. Beautiful. Now it's time to send it over to Chitubox to export the model so I could print it on my Elegoo Mars printer. It was about a 5-hour print, I think, and it turned out just about perfect first try. I actually reprinted the body of the rocket because my first attempt, the eyes and mouth weren't quite deep enough. Still working out exactly how deep that has to be. I think about an 1/8 inch works right. Then I plopped it into the curing station. First washing, dunked it in there. The Elegoo Mercury is one of my favorite things ever. Super easy to wash it off. The resin comes off there and you get a nice clean print. Cracked it off the plate and then set it back into the Mercury station, this time on cure setting, and let the UV rays do their thing. With that, I had 3 pieces that all fit together beautifully. It was time to make a mold of these little guys. Mold making was pretty simple. I glued them big side down. I've been using hot glue to put it on some foam core and then generic plastic building bricks to create the walls for my molds, and that seems to work pretty well because I can reuse it. Then I poured some Umu 30 from Smooth On to create the molds. Equal parts mixed together turns to a beautiful purple color. Then poured in over the top of all 3 pieces. Nice gentle pour from high up to eliminate bubbles. And the 2 end pieces, the top and the bottom, really were an issue for bubbles, but I did want to make sure that the smile didn't get any bubbles, and then the overhang that for the top of the body didn't get bubbles either. So those got poured a little slower, and I did a little tipping as I poured. Once the molds had cured, it was time to de-Lego them. This is actually a very satisfying process. Pulling all the Legos off there is a good time. Top and bottom pulled right out of the molds. The body, because of the overhang, the connection stud at the top, did have to be cut to free the original from the mold. Then it was time for casting. So I actually did this several times. I wanted to get a nice bright red top and a nice smoky gray bottom. First time I did it, I got a nice pink top and an off-white smoke, but second and third time I did it turned out much better. Look at that. That turned out pretty good. The last piece I had to work with was I did have to drill a hole. Don't look at my feet. I had to drill a hole for the top to fit on top of the body like that. Once that was done, a little bit of glue, and I could glue the 3 pieces together. Final step is gray UV curing resin to fill in the eyes and mouth. Quick UV bath to cure it, and this rocket is done. So there you go, guys. those were the exact steps I went through to make this little guy in less than a week. So a lot of fun. I still learned some things. This is the first time I cast with multiple colored pieces. First time I cast pieces that connected together. Dealing with that whole connection method, having to add the whole after the fact was a new concern for me. I won't call it an issue or problem. It was a thing I hadn't done before, so now I have and I learned. So my models, I think, are these little guys are getting better and better. Gonna do another one next week. Next week's gonna be really cool. Come back and watch it then. Thank you.